I was being a shitty dad, I was being an absent husband, I was probably rubbing up into depression, and this is why I want to be really honest with you, as the problem is, the quote, compassion is the thief of joy, is so true. And this is where we want to kind of really just blow away the smoke and mirrors as to what's going on. Because you can be comparing yourself to others, just like I was doing to so many others as well. Especially because you could be flicking through Instagram, you can be on Facebook, you can be watching YouTube videos, and you're looking at everybody else's highlights reel. And this is where if you really want to be happy, because I'll be honest, I'm shooting this show, I want to be able to answer your questions because I want to help you achieve your best body. I want you to be able to achieve your best business. I want you to achieve your best life, because ultimately all those things continue to funnel back for you to be happier and more fulfilled. So how can you be happier and more fulfilled? Because you can be succeeding at those other things, but the problem is you could be still comparing yourself to others and being depressed about it, and therefore you're still failing to get to your end goal. Hi, I'm Chris Dufay and you're watching Breaking Success. This is the show that gives you the answer to build the body, the business, and the life that you love. And this is where I finally came about to see the truth for what it really is. And that is, comparison first starts with it needing metrics. You need to be comparing yourself with somebody else on certain factors. And that is, what are the factors that you're actually focusing on? What are the metrics that you're using to say whether or not you're progressing, you're growing, you're evolving as a person, you're achieving what it is that you really want? And so for me now, at the end of every week, on every Friday afternoon, I sit down and I actually rate myself with how I've been over in the past week. So I can see, what am I actually doing? And am I getting better? Am I starting to slip in certain areas? Super simply, I just rate myself 1 out of 5, 1 being no good, 5 being great, out of, am I being a good provider for my family? Am I actually being a good husband? Am I being a good father? Am I taking care of myself? And am I actually providing to my community, to the world? And then I boil it back down to, what are the behaviors that I'm actually doing? Just like we've talked about in previous episodes, you might be setting yourself goals and you might be saying, okay, I want to be 5% body fat. I want to earn $250,000 a year. I want to be happily married or whatever. But the thing is, what are you actually doing to get there? What is the actual behaviors that you need to focus on? Can you, more importantly, fall in love with the process of what it is that you need to do, so that it's not just the end destination that you're focusing on, it's the actual journey that you're going through as well. So first up, you now have the metrics that you're actually following through. There's a few key things, and I'd say start simple. Start with just one metric that you want to follow. What's the one thing that you're going to focus on week to week, maybe day to day, to make sure that you're going to where you want to be able to go? And the second step is be grateful. Simply, if you're even being able to watch this right now, if you're breathing, if you can enjoy anything in life right now, you have something great, and that is for you to be grateful for. So for me, I sit down in every morning and every evening and I write 3 things that I'm grateful for. I write 3 things in the morning, I write 3 things in the evening, and I make sure they're different from time to time. And I truly want to sit down and I actually want to feel them. Now, this is really important because I've done a grateful log for a while, and when I first did it, it was just like one of my to-dos. It was just like something else I needed to get ticked and get done because that's what I needed to do to become successful, and that wasn't the case. And it was actually learning this from UJ Ramdas, which just put it so well. You've got to have the emotional feeling from it. You've got to feel what it is that you're being grateful for. Don't just write it down and glaze on over. Feel it. Be actually authentic to yourself. And that's why I actually feel journaling does so much for me. It might not for you. If you haven't tried it, give it a try, because for me, I call myself on my own BS. I call myself on whether I'm being real with myself and what it is that I actually need to do. Then the third factor is you need to take responsibility. No matter what anybody else does, whether somebody does bad to you and that makes you feel bad, or somebody does good and that makes you feel good, that outside environment doesn't matter. It's what's actually happening on the inside. Now, if you haven't read the book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, I highly suggest you do, because that is one of the best stories, one of the best depictions of how this actually comes about. For what the real essence, the importance of the stuff is you need to decide of what your perception of everything else is, and you've got to be happy with yourself. Because as we've talked about in other episodes as well, is if you're looking at a constant big goal that you want to head to, and there's that gap of where you are and where you want to go, and you're not getting there, and therefore that's being a gap of depression, of not feeling so great, you need to be able to use the metrics. That's why the first point was, what are the metrics that you need to to look on. At least knowing and measuring yourself from the growth that you're having, you're being able to improve yourself. But then it's making sure that what it is that you are actually doing, what it is that's actually happening in your life is solely up to you. And that can be a really hard bullet to bite sometimes, but it's the truth. Now, the fourth factor when it comes to stopping comparing yourself, or at least limiting it, or not having it such an effect on yourself, is detox your input. This is one of the best things that I've ever done. I don't actually put my phone out of flight mode until 10 a.m. and it goes back into flight mode at 6:30 p.m. Those times in between, I'm not having any other input. I just want to be with myself right now, with my family, with my friends, and not having external sources. Because the thing is, you can be disconnected from the people that actually matter in your life, trying to connect to everybody else. And this is where you shouldn't be watching the news. I believe you shouldn't be watching the news. To be perfectly honest, I don't and haven't watched the news for a very long time, because as others have said, like CNN, it's the constant negative news network. That's not fun. And the thing is, what do you need to focus on? What's the environment that you need to focus on? What's your world, and how can you better impact your world rather than everybody else? And I know that's an opinion and that's a belief that is conflicting with others, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not arguing with you. That's just where I'm at right now. And this is where it comes to the fifth factor, and this is you just need to be in the now. This is something that has taken me a long time to be able to get to, and to be perfectly honest, I definitely haven't got there. I haven't mastered it. I ain't the guru. I'm just on my journey as well, and I'm just wanting to bring you along with it. But this is if you can better be understanding of, you know what, don't be depressed of what's been in the past. Don't be anxious of what's in the future. Just understand what's going on right now, and making sure that, you know what, you're not comparing yourself to others. You're not looking at somebody else's highlights reel and looking at what your bad spots are. And you're being truly authentic to yourself and focusing on, you know what is the thing that you really want? What is the clarity on what your ultimate end goal is? I want to make sure that you get the most out of being here, and I want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed this episode, click like, and make sure I can send you the new episodes each and every week. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, I really want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly what you need. So comment below. I want to know what you're going to take away from this episode. And the best conversations after every episode always happen in the Breaking Success Tribe. I'll pop a link below for you to join the free group so you get access to the guides, the live streams. I'm in there answering your questions personally each and every day, plus you get all the episodes as well. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.